Now the big announcement. The United States has approved sending F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine from Denmark and the Netherlands. NATO members Denmark and Netherlands have been leading international efforts to train pilots for the F-16 jets as well as support staff, maintain aircraft and ultimately enable Ukraine to obtain F-16 aircraft for use in its war with Russia. Something that Zelensky has really been requesting for the F-16 fighter jets. Now, the clamor to provide Ukraine with United States-built F-16 jets is growing. And here's a look at all the recent developments and how it's going to impact the ongoing conflict. Now, Ukraine is jubilant as the United States has officially approved the F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. And till now, they had only approved the training of the pilots for F-16 jets, but now it is finally official. Washington gave Denmark and the Netherlands official assurances that US will expedite approval of transfer requests for F-16s when the pilots are finally trained. Now, the Denmark and the Netherlands had recently asked for those assurances. US Secretary of State sent letters to his Danish and Dutch counterparts. Blinken said, and I'm quoting here, that it remains critical that Ukraine is able to defend itself against ongoing Russian aggression and violation of its sovereignty. Remember, Washington must legally approve. It must legally approve the re-export of US equipment purchased by allies. Now, earlier on Wednesday, Ukrainian Air Force spokesperson stated that Kyiv will not be able to operate F-16 fighter jets this coming autumn or in the winter. So we are going to see it happen finally in 2024 if the war continues till then. Now, let's take a look at the key details about the F-16 fighter jets. Why can and how can they possibly change the way for Ukraine in the ongoing conflict? The Fighting Falcon has a maximum takeoff weight of over 16,000 kilograms. The speed that it can achieve is 2,414 kilometers per hour. It can hit over Mach 2 and this is at altitude. Mach 2 is, of course, twice the speed of sound. It has a ceiling of above 50,000 feet or 15 kilometers. In terms of armament, and of course that is what matters as much in a war situation, the F-16 has a multi-barrel cannon with 500 rounds. External stations can carry up to 6 air-to-air missiles. The F-16 boasts of conventional air-to-air and air-to-surface munitions and electronic countermeasure pods as well. F-16 is one jet which has been used by several nations across the world and has been proven to be one of the most useful in war situations. Now, Ukraine is struggling to counter Russian air and artillery superiority. With depleted strength and dated aircraft, the Ukrainian Air Force is suffering, to say the least. And the counter-offensive has, of course, not gone as per plan and nowhere hit the target as what they had essentially imagined it would and would have evaluated to be. The Ukrainians fly Soviet-era jets even now, like the Sukhois and MiGs, the earlier versions. The country's current fleet of warplanes is older than modern Ukraine itself. And that's saying so much about what they're dealing with and what they're using. The big question is, will fighter jets be a magic wand for Ukraine? Let's talk about this further. Western fighters with standoff weapons would offer an improved capability to destroy fixed Russian targets near the front lines. However, the F-16s would be at high risk from Russian air defenses, and Russia has a lot of good air defenses. They have the S-300, the S-400, the S-500, and the S-550 is also in development, which can pretty much take out anything that flies. Now, pilots would thus have to fly very low near the front line, something that would essentially reduce missile range and limit strike options. So then how do they make the most of the ability that is being provided to them and the technology and, of course, the armor and the jets that are being given? Despite the US and allies' continued ambitious efforts to bolster the Ukrainians, there are no signs of an endgame to the war, and that is essentially what is most concerning. The Russia-Ukraine conflict seems destined to enter an even more complicated phase in the months ahead. And that is something that both Russia and the West is bracing for now, because there seems to be no other option and neither side is willing for a truce. Ukraine does not want to cede any kind of territory and Russia is clear on what they demand. We at WION, of course, are tracking all the developments coming in from